I don't want to make a chickshaw. Do you want to make a chickshaw? That's how I feel. No, I want to build a timber frame cabin. But I guess we have to build a place for the chickens to live. All right, today we need to build a mobile chicken tractor. Wow, mobile chicken tractor. And we're gonna base it on a design that we saw online on Justin Rhodes' channel called a chickshaw, or a pretty chickshaw, or a Prettyshaw, or a chickshaw. Sheeshaw. Seashells. It's really hard to say. But we're going to take a break from timber framing today and start work on that because we have chickens that are growing fast and they're going to need a place to live. They're right now in a dog crate and they're outgrowing that by the minute. So we got to start. It's going to be pretty small, 4 foot by 4 foot. It's going to have some long arms like a rickshaw, and hopefully it'll have some large wheels. We can roll it around the property and move it from time to time. That's the plan. Nothing to it but to do it. This day is amazing. Is this day amazing? This day's amazing. It is beautiful. It is so sunny. It's absolutely brilliant. We got a lot of work to do. We're gonna work on this chicken thing today, and we're gonna need to, we have all this wood, but a lot of it's like 2x4s and 2x6s, but we don't wanna build the whole thing out of that because it's gonna be way too heavy. So we're gonna mill some of that down to 2x2s, do most of our framing with that. We have a lot of wood, and I think we can use a lot of it today for building that chicken, what do we call it even? Chicken tractor? It's gonna be great. It's really interesting because the way that we are building this cabin, we don't need 2x4s and 1x and all that different types of typical structural dimensions of lumber. We need these big timbers. And so as it happens, all that stuff is almost like a byproduct to us, but we have a lot of it. So today we're gonna start the mill up, cut some of that down to size, and get started framing this thing. I have a rough sketch of what it's supposed to look like. I don't have any actual plans, but we've watched a few videos where he says, this is this size and this is this size. So I think we have enough information to get started. I really want to be done by tomorrow. I don't want to take 2 days off of this timber framing project. I'm probably going to, because everything takes longer than you think it's going to take, and there's always interruptions.
So we just let the chickens out into the chicken run today. I put the line up the other day, and now it's a beautiful sunny day out, so we're letting them out to run around and kind of get used to the grass. I went to go put the charger on, and the dog had eaten the charger cords, the plugs that you clip onto the wire. So, you know, I'm glad we have a dog to chase away coyotes, which he did do the other night, that were on the property. But sometimes I didn't even imagine he'd come all the way out here. I mean, he runs the whole property, but I didn't think he'd chew the wires. So anyway, I need to be more careful. We have a bitter spray we just bought to spray things we don't want him to chew on. So I need to spray those. I mean, fix the plugs or buy new ones and then spray them. Anyway, today we're out here. Asher is playing with the chickens, trying to catch them. Oh, buddy. And, oh my goodness, he's having so much fun. But chickens are enjoying being out, and I'm enjoying being out. This is going to be my potager garden or kitchen garden area. I'll let them scratch in it for a while, and then I'll move them, and we'll lay down some cardboard and some compost and do kind of a Charles Dowding no-dig method, hopefully. That's the goal. But I am putting the chickens out here for a bit, even though we're going to cover it with cardboard. But they'll dig it up, and it'll give them something to do. And we'll kind of test this method. And then we'll move them around, hopefully get the wire fixed, the charger fixed. And it's just a beautiful day here today. Chicken?
I don't have bolts long enough to put these wheels on, but I'm gonna put them on anyway and just see how it rolls. It's probably gonna fall off, so don't laugh. Well, for one day, that's pretty good progress, I think. Probably about another half a day. And it'll be done, ready for the chickies. Why, what happened?
So Emma came running in this morning and said, Gemma had babies! And so we all came running out, and Gemma had babies this morning, apparently.
She wasn't supposed to have hers yet, we thought.
We didn't think she was bred because until later in November, because Bucky continued to mate her into November. So apparently she was pregnant in October because it's March. So
Let's look at them.
yeah.
They look big. They look really big.
They're really big. Like, I kept wondering if she had 3 or 4 in there, but now they're so big, I think just 2.
Hey, look, kiddos. They're still really wet.
Yeah, she was just licking them off. I think she just had them this morning.
Oh, don't fall. Hi, guys. Welcome to the cold of Idaho. The good news is it's springtime. The bad news is that doesn't mean anything here.
Well, that sure was a surprise this morning to see those baby goats. So Gemma is an alpine and was bred with Bucky, our Nubian buck. And so I did not expect her to go because, you know, she was still being mated in November. Goats have a 5-month gestation. So the other 2 goats we have that we got, honestly, I didn't write it down. It was like right around the last week of October, first week of November. I don't remember the exact date. It was a Sunday. I'll have to look back and see if I can recall anything else that pinpoints. But we think that the goat Hollyhock, that's the black with the white stripe around her middle, we think that she was bred when she came to us because Bucky was never interested in her the whole time. You know, he was very interested in Ginger Snap. That's the spotted one. So now it looks like, hopefully, Holly, who we thought would already go, because I actually thought she was in labor the other day, hopefully this next week, because that would be basically, if we got her last week of October, first week of November, then she would have her baby this next week or the week after, basically, somewhere in there, I think. So I expect her to go next. Then Ginger Snap, she'll be the last. I really thought Gemma would be the last because she was still being bred into November. But, you know, I guess goats have their own timing. I don't know. I don't really know why he would have still been interested in her, but it's just a surprise. It's a nice snowy day. We're discussing names, so we'll see. There's a buckling and a doeling, so that's really fun. These will probably not be staying on our farm unless we choose to eat them. So we're not really 100% sure yet. We'll just see how it goes.
This is going to be a handle for the chicken coop to open and close the door. I had kind of a fun time working on the coop because it's unlike the Timberframe completely. It's just completely made up. Whatever fits is what we're going to do, and it's very imprecise. Plus, I'm working with pieces of wood that are 2 inches by 2 inches, so when you screw it up, you just throw it out and start another piece. You don't really have to even measure too much. It's kind of what's happening with this handle. Don't have a great plan what it's going to look like, but it's probably going to be you know, handle shaped, something like that. I don't know. Needs to have a place to screw in on both sides and a place to grab with your fingers, so probably something like this. I was kind of resentful about building this chicken coop because really chickens not a priority in my world, but they are a priority for our homestead and producing food for us, so I like to eat chicken. So we're stopping work on the timber frame to get this done. It's fine. It's fine. There's always distractions. I just clamped my own clothes in the vise there, in case you didn't catch that. I bought this draw knife at a antique store, actually, for $5 last year before we even moved onto the property, and I use it so much. I really like it. It's just kind of nice to work a piece of wood and draw it down like this. It's fun. You should do it. I really like antique tools. It makes me think about the people who made them and the people who first used them. Makes you think about all the things we've forgotten how to do with our hands. I'm trying to regain some of that, you know. Get good at stuff. When you know how to do things with your hands, you don't have as many excuses for not having something. Oh, I really need a handle, or I really need a hinge or something. You can make a lot of that stuff. I want to get more into metalworking, welding and the like. Just never had a place to do that. Well, now I do. I bought a welder and I've plugged it in one time. Hasn't been a very productive use of that tool, but it was fun. Just tried it for a few minutes. You develop a respect for people who know how to do that type of work. There's a guy in town here, just a genius with metal, and he's really cool. I took some parts to him to fix, and he just knocked them out in like a day. It was amazing. Really fast and knows his stuff. He quoted me like $150 to fix my tractor, and then I came back and he says, "How much did I quote you again?" He didn't even remember because it was just a small job for him. That's that. Little handle. If it starts to go too fast, just put the feet down on the ground, okay? You understand? Is that going to be your job to move it every day?
Probably.
Every week?
Maybe.
Go for it.
Wait, we're going down the road.
Down the road.
So, what direction is the cabin?
Today we're taking a field trip out into the woods a little ways to the site of the Timberframe cabin, and everyone's just trying to get their final buy-in on where we think we're going to lay it. This spot has a clearing which we've really always thought was very pretty, and it's pretty close to our septic, electrical, and water sources, so I think this is going to be it. We're just trying to get within about 10 feet of the actual site so we could all agree that that's where it's going to go.
Yeah, I mean,
Still have like off.
Okay, first corner. First corner right here.
I thought where our corner can be. We'll run our
Right here?
lines.
Oh, good?
First
Oh,
corner.
sorry, you wanted more now.
Do you want us to swear?
maybe-
Oh, yeah.
Are you seriously telling how many inches to go? Which have 26 acres. Hey, Mazel Tov!
Is that the proper
I don't think
sentiment
I was
for
right.
this moment?
Is there a proper blessing for a steak?
There's a blessing
kind
for
of steak?
everything. Which kind of steak? Good point.
All around the dog crate, the Asher chased the chickens. Asher thought it was all in fun. Pop goes the chicken. Get him.